What do you make of the controversy around the new Star Wars?
The new Star Wars, I saw it. What I was focused on is that there was this reaction because people were talking about my 3D effect. And some people felt there was some connection with the 3Ds. And I said, well, maybe, you know, we see a little progress here because, you know, once again, I want to be careful not to give things away, but there may be a hint of the 3D in it because if this guy dies, there's my 3D right there. Mm-hmm. The other thing. Also, I don't know enough about Star Wars, about the characters, what they are allowed to do or not to do, but I found it interesting that the two did not kiss. You know, there was some romance that existed between the two of them, but it seemed to be on a platonic level, you know, where the black character, the male, he looked like he was, you know, really anxious to get things going.
I need the bonding tape, hurry.
What about you?
I've got to get back to Jakku.
Back to Jakku? Why does everyone want to go back to Jakku?
It's not that one.
That place is...
No, no, the one I'm pointing to. No, no, no! If we don't patch this up, the propulsion tank will overflow and flood this ship with poisonous gas!
This?
Yes.
Hey, Ray, you're a pilot. You can fly anywhere. Why go back? You got a family? Got a boyfriend? Cute boyfriend?
None of your business, that's why.
But I tell you what I found very unique about Star Wars, and no one addressed this, and it's something that struck me when I watched Red Tails, which was also Star Wars. Maybe George Lucas is not connected to the new Star Wars, but he was connected with Red Tails, and George Lucas is married to a black woman. But the connection that was unconventional for me is that the black involved with the white woman has unconventional looks. A dark, very Negroic black male is used, and I found that very unique. But as far as all the other hullabaloo, I think from what I read, a lot of white folk were upset because, and maybe this is something that connects to other issues with these kind of films. I think the same thing happened where Michael Jordan's character is playing the black brother to a white girl. You know, there seems to be some objection to the projection of black heroes in futuristic films or scientific films.
Well, people, when the first trailer came out for Star Wars, there was quite a reaction. Like, people felt that they were projecting a black supremacist worldview in the new Star Wars.
I think what's happening in today's America, too many people find it difficult to deal with the new reality. The world is getting browner and browner. And people who are so used to white privilege can't deal with it.
The Boycott Star Wars hashtag said that the film is anti-white.
From the trailer? They got all that from a trailer? Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what I got from maybe an early trailer that I saw of that film. They show the black boy running. He falls down, and the white girl reaches out her hand to him. That's an old image that was very pronounced in the Defiant Ones. And it's something that was pronounced in the Heat of the Night in many of the Sidney Poitier films. There's this element that continues where you have some attempt to address the issue of brotherhood And that's in many films. Because the thing is, we're talking about a global market. We're talking about films being made to reach a global market. And as I said, the world is changing. It's getting browner and browner. And this is scaring a lot of people. I mean, when you look at someone like a Trump and a Cruz being popular, it means a lot of people are upset over what these people are saying is wrong with America. There are a lot of people who are upset where they feel too many people of color are going to usurp their positions in life. And futuristic films, one critic said, you know, futuristic films, the reason why initially you never saw us in those films and you didn't get us until it became politically correct to put us in those films, is because futuristic films presented a way of illustrating white flight to its ultimate possibilities.
Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer presents the Saul David production of Logan's Run. A fantastic journey through a world beyond imagination. Welcome to the 23rd century. The perfect world of total pleasure. Imagine a world in which you need never be alone. You touch a switch, turn a dial, and the perfect lover steps into your arms.
As I said before, in Birth of a Nation, what the troublesome presence? Well, how do we get away from these brothers and sisters? Let's go to the final frontier. Let's go to a galaxy where we can leave them behind. And whose vision is it and whose dream is it to leave them behind? Well, who's running the industry? Who's writing the movies? When we're talking about the Academy Awards and the percentage of what the Academy is about, 94% white, well, whose vision is being told? That, you know, it's their vision.
Right. Well, not just that, but you know, Star Wars, for a lot of people, it's their religion. They dress up like it. They really believe in the power of the Force.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, this gets back to this whole God image. Certain people believe, as my brother said, they have the complexion for the connection, and the Force belongs to them and no one else. We don't want to see anyone else with it. We don't believe anyone else is supposed to have it. We are the true gods. That's what they're using film to present. We are the true gods. And if you say anything counter to that, that's blasphemy. That's sacrilegious. And you got these fanatics, these Star Trekkies and these Star Wars people. They want their comic heroes to be true to the way it was created. They want all of these mythologies to be true to the way they were created. Once again, didn't this lady on Fox go ballistic when someone suggests that Santa Claus no longer be a human being, it'd be a penguin? She went crazy, and then she threw in, don't forget, Jesus is white and Santa Claus is white.
Just because it makes you feel uncomfortable doesn't mean it has to change. You know, I mean, Jesus was a white man too, but you know, it's like he was a historical figure. I mean, that's a verifiable fact, as is Santa. I just want the kids watching to know that. Yes. But my point is, how do you just revise it, you know, in the middle of the legacy of the story and change Santa from white to black?
But the old joke is, you know, Santa Claus is not white. Could never be white. You wouldn't be white if you came down the chimney.
Well, you know, I do think there's some 3D and Tricknology in Star Wars. I don't know if you caught it, but you know, there was a sequence. You talk about denigration, though, and I hope the white woman does hook up with the Finn, the black character. But you know, they make her a scavenger. She's of a much lower class than even Finn when they start off, and then later they explain that Finn, when he was on with the stormtroopers, he was in sanitation.
The flooding tunnel's over that ridge. We'll get in that way.
What was your job when you were based here?
Sanitation.
Which I think is a way to lower his character so that white folks won't necessarily feel offended.
My 3D is denigration, devastation, and destruction. Denigration is when you make the white character, you blacken the white character.
Right.
So if we're saying, from what your take is that the white girl was a scavenger.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if Finn worked in sanitation, then this is a leveling, you're saying, in a sense, a leveling of
Well, I think it's a leveling. They're putting the black man and the white woman on an equal plane, but it's still below the white viewer, the white male viewer who's watching the show, and saying, "Well, okay, they're at least they're not full-on heroes, at least not yet, in terms of telling the story."
The white viewer, his gaze, his or her gaze, is not that they're not concerned with the black character's station in life. No matter what the black character is. Could be a doctor, a lawyer, could cure cancer. He could never be white. My brother worked in Kentucky. Poorest white people in the world. Poorer than poor. The only thing they had to make them feel good about themselves, they could say they're not black. Okay? The denigration is, how do we bring the white who's involved with the black, how do we bring them on a level with the black? So that's why you'll have the white, if it's a white male or female, you make them a prostitute, someone on drugs. That's the denigration, okay? Now, this girl in Star Wars, if she's being denigrated, okay, let's say we first see her for survival purposes based on where she is at this point in time. She's a scavenger. Mm-hmm. But I think what they're hiding is the big reveal. Maybe she's different than that. Her true character is something else. See? That's different. You see? And so the thing is, Finn, does he survive to another film? I doubt it. They did something similar to a white character that they did to Finn in Star Wars. Stella Stevens in Slaughter. You don't know if she died at the end or not.
I think he's going to come back.
In Slaughter.
I think he comes back.
Okay, so that...
Too much money in dolls. Too many people are going to buy that doll.
Well, I'm going to get me one. But I tell you, like I say, if no one's talking about his look and how do you pronounce the guy who played Martin Luther King in Selma?
David Oyelowo.
Handsome man. You look at, he's a handsome man, but he's black. But they put him opposite a white woman. That's something Hollywood never did before. Whenever Hollywood wanted to put a black man against a white woman.
Oh, in what film?
The early films. The
yes.
films. Ideally, they always wanted to use a mulatto type, a high yellow. Harry Belafonte.
In Red Tails, they do that.
In Red Tails, yeah. That's what I'm saying. He's Red Tails. That's why I said this guy, both of them from the UK also.
John Boyega, yeah.
Yes, from the UK. Oh, a lot of actors coming from the United Kingdom. Whoa, what's with that? No one's talking about that either.
Okay, so no 3D effect in Star Wars?
Only if we don't see this guy again. See, here's what the Tricknology could be, right? You're thinking, because she says, we'll meet again, right? Mm-hmm. The thing is, that could be something you're guessing, they're playing on, but we don't know. So the thing is he dead or not? We don't know. Right or wrong?
True.
Okay.
No regrets whatsoever because there weren't no parts. Yeah, I could play a pimp, you know, but there weren't no parts. They weren't doing Othello. As a matter of fact, they didn't do Othello on film for a black guy till I got there.
When you watch movies, you may get some militancy, some so-called blackness, but overall what you're going to get green-lighted and the gatekeepers are going to let come through are those motion pictures which perpetuate the status quo.